What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Untitled Nerd Show, your place for all the nerdiest conversations and all the nerdiest topics. We are here, as always, Player 22, AD, and Tara, joined by Nerdy Farmer.
Hi, guys!
So, this is a special episode, considering the circumstances, the state of the world, if you will.
Yes, it is.
Crazy times we're in.
We're in an episode of Black Mirror, I'm pretty sure.
I wouldn't know. I have no comment.
Or like a weird Walking Dead episode.
Yeah.
Prologue.
Have you ever seen that movie, 12 Monkeys?
No.
It feels like we're in a weird dystopian film of some sort.
A weird dystopian film of some sort.
The beginnings of it, at least.
Mm-hmm.
The beginnings. Our
So when do I
stream
get to wear
audio is
my
picking up on your mic,
crazy-ass,
Nerdy.
I'm sorry?
Our stream audio is picking up on your mic.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everything was good. When do I get to start wearing like the Mad Max costumes?
I mean, I say let's all just do it now. Like, there's no time like the present.
Chris actually brought that up in our group chat before.
Yeah, like when is that acceptable?
Whenever.
Well, if you're quarantining like you're supposed to, you can do whatever you want in your own damn house.
It's.
I mean, but I'm supposed to be able to put it on and walk to other people's houses and be like, "I want your pizza. Just walk away. Just walk away. I'll give you free passage. Walk away."
I'd say it's always acceptable.
I mean,
but at some point, yeah,
I'm gonna go do that when we're done here. So
it's always acceptable. The question is, when does it become the norm?
Have you guys heard that or not heard, but seen that meme where it's from Step Brothers and it's like, I didn't want the coronavirus. Yeah. I wanted zombies. I said it 5 times.
Yeah, I
mean,
I was watching TV last night and a commercial came on.
I touched my face. I'm back.
Actually, three commercials in a row. One was the CDC's PSA that they're blasting out everywhere. One was a Cottonelle commercial from assuring us that toilet paper will return to the shelves
someday.
And then Verizon commercial was telling us that they're there for us in our time of need. And just so we're clear, Twitch, I am not endorsing any of these companies. I'm merely saying all the commercials are talking about the coronavirus.
Wait, do I sound like a robot again?
You sound fine on mine, I think. Talk again.
I had an issue last night when Leroy was watching me, and I'm fine today. Okay. I guess you saw last night's stream.
Did you use your robot voice last night?
No, my mic just suddenly had some kind of fuck up where it was like it was just fucking weird.
What kind of mic are you using?
It's a Samsung Q2. It's a XLR mic.
That's better than my mic. I'm using a Yeti.
Yeah. It's a dynamic mic, so I mean, got it coming through like an audio interface and everything. So I don't know. Like, it was the same setup from when we had our afternoon stream. I didn't touch anything. I just went back online, and then suddenly the mic started cutting out.
Twitch has been twitching here recently, so.
So anyway, it was very
Oh, you saw the golden suit.
It was very sick. Sign of the times.
I was in Judgment. I had a golden suit.
I'm sorry. We keep interrupting Tara.
It's fine.
It's okay.
I think I said what I'm trying to say, which is
nothing she says is important.
Everything is about the coronavirus.
It recently is.
It's like the world fucking stopped.
Well, for some people. I will say that, and this is really not nerdy news, but it is a little bit of news in my area. That way you guys can get an idea of what I'm dealing with. you guys know I'm in the agriculture business. I have livestock. I have friends who have livestock. I have friends who are bigger than I am and stuff like that. People are literally attacking these people, not like physically, but like telling them, you can't go out, you can't do this, you can't do blah, 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 blah. Telling them they have to stay in, where they don't realize it's springtime. Like a lot of agricultural businesses, especially small ones, their entire year revolves around selling the livestock in spring. And right now in Kentucky, all auctions, all animal swaps, all flea markets, everything is, not allowed. And these people are really hurting because the local government has also instated no sale of livestock because it requires a face-to-face interaction, or so it's really become an issue.
Well, that's kind of what I mean when I say everything has stopped. It's creating issues for sure. It's just like everything has. At the
same time,
I guess what I'm saying is everything has changed.
It is. That's
not stopped, but changed.
The world will, after this, inevitably be different in a lot of ways. Our medical infrastructure is going to change.
Yeah.
How people do business is going to change. And people need to realize, too, that the figurative Pandora's box of Corona has been opened. We'll never put it back in. It's here. It's going to be here forever. And most likely here in the next year or two, what's going to happen is we're going to have immunizations that we're all going to have to receive, maybe yearly, like the flu, depending on how much it mutates. So that is the reality of it. People are going to have to live to learn with this. The good thing is this initial infection, and I know I say good, but this initial infection, the people who survive are going to have antibodies, and their body's going to know how to deal with it. And because the death rate for younger population of individuals, people between the ages of 15 to 45, is relatively very low, unless you have pre-existing conditions, you are going to get it. You're going to experience some flu-like symptoms, and then you're going to be immune for the most part, unless it mutates. So what I'm saying is it's going to be bad, but it'll get better. But we're going to have to learn to live with it forever.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It is what it is, but it is affecting the nerd world. I think AD wanted to bring up some stuff about how movies have been affected drastically, and TV shows for that part.
Movies, TVs, games.
I read an article that because of the coronavirus, the Witcher TV series, the Netflix series, has stopped production, so they don't know when it's going to come out now.
Oh, that's fucking bullshit.
Fucking AD over here. God damn it.
You know what I think is funny is that everybody that I know or talk to has had a different event that has triggered their okay, now this is bullshit reaction. You know what I mean? For me, it was when my nail salon closed and I can't get my eyelashes done. I was like, okay, this has gotten a little too real for me.
Everybody's like, now it's serious. Now it's serious. I can't get my eyelashes done.
Yeah.
It's hit the fan.
But it's different for everybody.
I think it got serious for me when I realized I had to adjust all my streaming because nobody could none of my streaming partners could come anymore. So everything is solo now, and it's kind of weird. But I've been getting a little bit more viewership, so at least I still have people to hang out with. So
yeah, I mean, there's gonna be as a streamer in general. I mean, the coronavirus can be very good because I keep saying it's positive people are sick, but it's really not. But
look at the bright side.
But people are staying in, and as a streamer, that means more people are going to be able to catch our streams. However, on the negative side, I have to hit on this since we're talking about Corona's effect on things. Our European viewers, though, are having a particularly hard time of being able to see us. I don't know if you've heard about this, Tara. I know me and AD kind of talked about it. But the EU announced that they are requiring streaming services like Netflix, YouTube, Disney Plus, stuff like that, to throttle down the amount of bandwidth that they can take.
Creek?
What?
So, yeah. So if you look online and you just type in, bandwidth, EU, blah 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 blah, they are. Like today, Mr. Shulker's able to have chat work fine today, but he's had a hard time connecting, and it's really comes down to them saying, "Hey, look, there's too many people at home watching Netflix and using up all the bandwidth. The people who need to work from home can't get their job done."
Wow.
So
can't they just tell the internet people to just make more internet?
that's
just build the internet. Make the internet bigger.
Now you see what AD has to deal with on a regular basis.
I mean, that's not how it works.
Just make the internet bigger.
Just
Tara,
double it.
Let me explain how bandwidth works. Think of your computer as your mouth. Okay. Now think of the bandwidth as a big straw. Okay. And you can suck in as much as your mouth can handle. Well, but if everybody's sucking on that same straw at the same time, it doesn't matter how much you're sucking, you're not going to be able to get enough. So that's kind of how bandwidth is.
Right, but if you have a vat instead of a cup, we can all suck longer.
Somebody clip her saying that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I would like a vat of internet, please.
A vat of internet, and everybody gets their own straw.
Yeah.
Yes. Mr. Solker says we're all using the same straw, so
that is not COVID-19 protocol, sir.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Hey,
that is a 15 kilogram.
So whoever's in charge of the internet, we need more straws, please.
They need to be longer so we can maintain our 6 foot distancing.
Yeah. Precisely. We need you guys to work on that.
But I will say that this is a thing happening. For our European audiences, I feel really bad. I wish I could reach you guys, but be aware of, for us being in the US, that's going to be a thing, I think, very soon.
I would be. I'm surprised it's a thing there first, honestly.
They're ahead of us on the quote unquote curve of how severe things are right now.
On the quarantines and stuff?
Well, more so, yeah. I would say, yeah. And the quarantines and deaths and stuff like that. Now, that's not to say U.S. isn't caught up. We are now the number one in the world of affected individuals. But
yeah, I saw that. Okay, so there's actually 2 moments that I think everybody's had, or at least that I had. I had that, I can't get my eyelashes done, this is bullshit moment.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had that kind of moment where it was a little unnerving, where it was beyond just a minor inconvenience, and it was a little scary.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when I went, I didn't go out and stockpile, at the beginnings of this, because I generally keep good stock in the house. And so I intentionally was like, we can wait to go stock up until,
the people who need it get it, what I mean?
But by the time I actually went and was like, okay, now we really need stuff, I went to the grocery store that I shop at once a week, for the past 2 years, and the shelves were empty. I mean, not everything was empty, but I've never been in the grocery store like that. And of course, I'm seeing all the memes and stuff on Facebook. Well, then that wasn't even the worst part. So then I go home and I'm like, well, I can always order what we need on Amazon. And then when Amazon was sold out of all the same stuff, that was when I was like, okay, what the hell is going on? It was almost scarier than the actual virus for me.
Well, and that's the thing, Tara. A lot of people are experiencing.
Might cut off.
Say again?
Your mic cut off, completely cut off.
Am I back now?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Sorry, I had to cut off the mic for a second because I was listening to Tara, but there's an alarm going off somewhere on my Alexis. But anyway, so that's really the thing that's scaring a lot of people is there's not. They're afraid there's going to be not enough supplies, or there's not enough of this, or people are losing their jobs. I think a lot of people, myself included, are more concerned with the reactions that we're having to the coronavirus than the actual virus itself.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not downplaying it. And I never really was downplaying it, but I really am more concerned. Is every animal in this house trying to be fucking loud? But I'm not trying to downplay it because, like, there are concerns. If you are, for a perfect example, my wife and my son, more so my son.
What's up, Iron Tiger?
They have predisposing conditions that make them more susceptible to, having complications with the coronavirus.
Sure.
So yes, there are concerns, but the bigger concern is, 3.3 million, those last numbers I saw, of Americans are now out of work. They don't have money. And the government is trying to fix it with sending checks to people or stuff like that. But the reality of it is the reaction to everything and the impact on the economy can be very detrimental to people in general. And people want to say, oh, well, you don't have money. It's not a big deal. Yeah, it is if you can't put food on your table, if you get evicted from your house, if the lights get turned off. These are all things that people are facing now. And I mean, even in my household, where we have a level of concern, Nerdy wife was told that she was not to go back to work. Now, granted, right now, the company she works for, she works at a bank. They're continuing to pay her, but it's not like an indefinite. We're going to continue to pay you. They gave it a full 2 weeks, and then they're going to reevaluate, see where they're going to be at. Nerdy wife might get laid off.
So she's is that considered a furlough?
Well, not really, because she's still getting paid. She's at home while receiving pay. But she here very soon may be furloughed, laid off, however you want to look at it. But she, they may stop paying her.
Right.
And depending on how they word it, because if they don't lay her off and they just put her on leave without pay, we aren't allowed to apply for, what's it called? Unemployment. So while she'll have a guaranteed job whenever things start back up, if she gets put on leave without pay, that's a good chunk of money we don't have in the house then.
And that's the problem I have, because that's not the system. That's that company. And I'm not saying they're a bad company, but when you make decisions like that, where you put people between a rock and a hard place for your bottom line, it impacts people's lives.
It does, but at the same time, and I
because they could just.
I don't want to defend big companies.
No, but they could.
At the same time, you have these companies where they have to protect their bottom line at this point because they don't know how long this is going to be like this. They don't know how long.
Right, but they could just lay her off. They would save just as much money by allowing her to file for unemployment because they have to pay unemployment taxes regardless. That's you know what I mean. So for me, it's making a decision that allows people other recourse. I don't have any problem in the world with people making cuts if they need to make cuts, but do it in a way that gives people a fighting chance.
Well, and like I said, this is all speculative. Right now, all we know is she's at home getting paid. They might, because of some of the stuff that the stimulus package has been passed, that it'll give money to businesses to continue to pay their people, who have to stay home because of, the coronavirus. So this could all be speculative. She could not have any of these issues, or she could get laid off. But at the same time, I agree with you, Tara. They could very easily say, hey, we're laying you off, but you're on the short list. Whenever we get things back up and running, we'll be calling you back to refill your position.
Right.
That's simple. Like, my wife's been with this company for 5, almost 6 years. I mean, she's...
Yeah. Well, I just was reading right as we were getting started, the part of the stimulus package that that I find to be helpful as a finance person is that one of the ways that they're helping businesses, specifically small to mid-sized businesses, is through these disaster loans. So you can go apply for a loan with a low interest rate to help you get through this period. And if you get the loan specifically for payroll and you do not lay any of your employees off, you don't cut anyone, they will forgive majority of the loan.
That's good. That's a good system.
And so I was really excited to see that because that's something that, lots of businesses are looking into. And it's scary to take on debt during a time like this because what if nothing ever recovers? You know what I mean? Not at the world at large, but for that business. If you're not able to recover, it's scary to take on debt. But if you're able to save all your employees and then have the loan forgiven, that's a win-win. So hopefully that will help some of the people whose futures are uncertain right now. Because the businesses have an incentive not to cut if they can get some of these loans forgiven.
I totally agree.
So that's a ray of hope.
I think Leroy.
I do.
Leroy just had his "oh shit, this is real" moment. Because now he's having RuneScape issues.
Oh no!
Oh, he's had RuneScape issues for a couple of days now. It's because everybody and their brothers at home playing, and RuneScape's an amazing game, and now Leroy has to fight for that bandwidth.
Oh my gosh!
But
there was a garage sale yesterday. Who had a garage sale? Oh my god!
Somebody had a garage. I guess if you're at the garage sale and you had like a stick and you're like, you stand there.
You have your stuff 6 feet apart.
Yeah, I don't know.
So speaking of games, I'm gonna just insert myself right here.
Soul Creek, listen up.
Soul Creek.
Be excited.
So here I am. I'm on day who knows what of quarantine. I'm stuck in the house, just so we're clear. I'm stuck in the house. There's 6 people in my house, and I'm the only female.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, there's a lot of services that I provide based
Whoa.
based on my fairer sex, mostly cooking and cleaning.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
Not anything more exciting. Services.
Why did you have to use the word services?
I shouldn't have. Anyway, so
although with this chat, if you said anything, jobs, anything.
So if you pictured like a big gray Eeyore rain cloud, right, and then in comes this ray of light, bursts through the clouds,
and that ray of light is called.
And that ray of light is Animal Crossing: New Horizons, and I have an island. And coronavirus doesn't exist on that island. And
penis.
I can build things and grow things. And I'm having a great time. My island is named Half Moon.
What's that a reference to?
It's a reference to Half Moon Bay in the Bahamas, which is one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. You guys are gross. I'm ignoring all of that. And I'm just... And I know, by the way, through social media, that I'm not the only one that is like completely takes a headfirst dive into that game and pretends like we have no problems. There's no financial crisis. And I love the culture of nerds who are just fully embracing. And I know it's a lot of people that are our age.
Wait. So can other people come to your island?
They can.
So I could come to your island and just start smashing your stuff?
You could, and then I will find you and kill you.
Wait, you can actually destroy stuff in that game?
So you can really be a pest. In fact, there's an article I found on 8 tips on how to not be a dick when you go to a friend's island.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't chop down all their trees.
Doing it.
Don't pick all their fruit.
Animal Crossing Pavin. It's Animal Crossing.
And also, one of the funniest ones that you have to know that this person who wrote the article knows from personal experience is that not to follow your friend around the island and bop them on the head with your net every time they're about to catch a bug or a fish.
Oh my god! I am going to become an Animal Crossing troll. I'm doing this. This is a thing.
Yes,
I don't know the name
Soul
of your
Creek.
island, so
I haven't figured out the whole dodo code thing, but I can screenshot you my what is it called? My friend code for the Nintendo.
It's really called a dodo code?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well, Tara,
The dodo birds run the airline. Okay, it was not my fucking.
So you're talking about this, Tara. You're gonna love this story then. CNN reported 22 hours ago. This is a fairly recent news article, and this has happened before, but it's happening in larger quantities now because of the coronavirus. People are getting together on video games and having these large events, these large life events on the games, like Animal Crossing, IA weddings, graduations, things like this. So they're using the game and the online capabilities of it to come together and
that's amazing.
These big events.
I actually have a friend whose wedding is being postponed because of this. I'm gonna propose to her. I mean, not propose to her, but I'm gonna tell her.
You're just tripping over your own.
I'm gonna tell her she should have an Animal Crossing wedding because I could go and she plays Animal Crossing. I'm so excited.
No wonder there's not enough bandwidth. Oh god.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I'm in full support of that. If somebody told me right now there was an Animal Crossing party on an island somewhere, I would get there.
Wait, could you do like keg stands and stuff there and get drunk?
I mean, I don't know. I could do a keg stand in real life and play the game.
I feel like that would go poorly.
I feel like
we should be.
I can't actually do it.
We should be Animal Crossing wedding crashers.
Oh my god,
that would be genius.
So like, I just go there and I just start like, they're having their ceremony, and my guy just walks up and starts like hitting the person with the net.
That would be fantastic. Right in the middle of their vows.
Oh, that'd be horrible. Even I can't be that much of a troll.
But yeah, I just I don't know where Animal Crossing has been all my life. I don't know why I just started playing it. In fact, I actually started searching for older versions, which I haven't been able to find one that I can actually add onto my Switch, but I love it. And it's so Sims meets Minecraft without any battle. Like, it's the utopian ideal that quite nicely is a good counter to the dystopian reality that we're living in. Like, it's just
until somebody comes to your house and they're like, "Give me your Switch. Just walk away. Just walk away."
At this point, I will fight someone for my Switch because it's keeping me from killing everyone. Honestly,
stars over here, motherfucker! I will pry my Switch with my cold dead fingers.
Yeah. And I actually, in an effort to, be social, I actually bought Mario Kart last night. And what was so funny is that...
No waifus or buff old men exposing themselves because they're virgins.
What?
Oh my god, I don't think anyone's going to get that, Pavin.
Oh my goodness.
It's a thing.
Oh my gosh, Soul Creek. I'm not going to that island. Coronavirus doesn't exist on my island. It's not a thing.
I mean, until I bring it to your island.
No.
I'm gonna name my character Corona, and I'm gonna come visit.
That's funny.
And I'm just going to destroy everything.
I
I feel like Tara would actually
Forgot.
fly
Oh,
over to Kentucky
so-
and kill me.
Last night, I bought Mario Kart, and there's a bunch of macho men that live in my house. And as I was starting to set it up, and I have one roommate who does enjoy video games. Like, he's been, disappearing in his room to replay all the Halo games to pass the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he and I were going to play, and all these guys were like, I don't want to play video games because we're taking over the living room TV, right? Cut to an hour later, and we are literally getting in like physical altercations over who won and playing balloon battles, and everybody wants to play. It's a good thing I have extra controllers. So that's another two games that are helping me in my world cope with the quarantine and just the general anxiety of living in a global pandemic.
Well, I think
Thanks,
personally,
video games.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing, and it kind of ties in, I think, with what AD and I thought was a good thing to talk about this this episode, I should say. What are we calling these episodes, right, AD?
Yeah.
Yes, I have Mario Party 2, Iron Tiger.
I
always beat everyone.
Do we want to go into that? I don't know.
We can start into that. Because it's like going to be like a big portion of the show.
Yeah, we kind of we've been talking about a lot of stuff we weren't planning on, just because it's the current issue right now. So
yeah,
there's not really much gaming stuff to talk about.
I went rogue.
Yeah, you did kind of go rogue. You said
like we already mentioned, like the releases of games being either delayed or whatever. Movies are coming out sooner.
I lost my notes. Where do my notes go?
Is there any big games that we've been talking about that aren't coming out now?
Soul Creek's been talking the hell up out of Animal Crossing, and you finally gave in, so
that's true.
We got that down.
Yep. But I know May was supposed to be a big month.
I think
March
still a big month.
Yeah, March, April, and May were like the big months.
Yeah.
And then,
how do I lose a notebook when I didn't even get up?
Doom
happens to me all the time.
Doom came out the same day as Animal Crossing, but we haven't.
They did,
I don't think,
and the memes are still running strong with all the Doom Animal.
Yeah, but I don't think any of us have really gotten to look at that.
What, Doom? I haven't.
Yeah, and then you have Neo, but you said you haven't really gotten into that much.
I have like an hour and a half in the game, but there's really not enough time to really get. I plan on sitting down today because I'm recording everything I'm doing, and I'm going to post it on YouTube eventually. But my days are so busy right now because I'm teaching children because they're at home homeschooling.
When am I clicking on Soul Creek? Is this gonna blow up my speaker? It's something about. Oh, okay.
I am seriously perplexed. I have no idea where I put this damn. There's notebook. Little notebook that I keep all my notes in, and
hold on.
It literally disappeared.
Let's see if we can.
What are we canning?
I just got sent a YouTube video.
What is it?
Something Animal Crossing and Doom.
Is it Leroy?
No.
Oh, hello there! Oh, I love this. I've seen this. This is so hilarious.
Oh, that's Doom? That's scary.
Well, you're fighting demons.
Oh my god. This is amazing.
What the?
Why does she not have a gun?
Did she just punch him?
That's amazing.
Punch his head right off.
Doomy.
Oh my god.
I like that they crossed the
Okay.
logos.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. You still looking for notes there?
I must have taken them back.
Okay.
Give me 10 seconds. Give me 10 seconds. This is fuck.
Almost better than the dude. You mean Doom? Or Dude? I don't know. The guy from 2016 Doom.
Hill Creek, I'm about to whisper you my friend code. By the way, my Switch name is Gremlin.
She has many names.
Yep. And my icon is Bowser, because he's my favorite.
He also has orange hair.
So, hey, fun fact. You guys are going to find this hilarious. I was sitting on it.
Okay.
Good.
Oh,
Good one.
Wait. So when Iron Tiger told you to check your prison pocket, he was serious.
That was accurate.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So the only other bit of gaming news I had, Jesus Christ, I'll never live that one down. Now Tiger's going to always be like, check your prison pocket. Let's see. We talked about Chrono Delays. We talked about GameStop last time. They're still being idiots. There's the video games bandwidth in Europe. We talked about that. The only other thing that was a big information that came out here in the last 3 weeks was the PS5 finally released its specs. So we now have an actual side-to-side comparison with PS5 and the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, I had that somewhere. I don't know where I found it. They're pretty much the same. They're close. It looked to me like Xbox was a little bit
Xbox
better.
has the advantage when it comes to straight up hardware.
Yeah.
But as we've seen in the past, it doesn't matter if they have good hardware if they don't have any damn games to play on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like nobody, even now, like I don't care about 4K or any of that shit. Like I don't care how powerful your system is. Get some good games on there.
Yeah, and I think that's how a lot of people are beginning to feel like I'm very much a
What's up, Bobby?
I guess not audiophile. What's it for if you like graphics? Video file?
Video file.
I mean, I'm a graphics whore. So if I love to look at a game and it look good, like that's important to me.
Yeah.
Not only is that important to me, if water doesn't look right, I get pissed off. So while I really want that in games, if a game also isn't very good, like it doesn't really catch my interest, I'm also not going to be that interested in either. And without any options on games with Xbox, there really is that problem. I mean, perfect example, Animal Crossing doesn't really have great graphics, but look how well it's doing.
Yeah.
The game is what people want. And that's what Xbox really needs to do. They need to look and say, and I think they kind of did that. They bought up a whole crap ton of studios. And they really are making it so PC and Xbox gamers can play together. They're really integrating that whole, hey, cross-platform thing. A lot of their games are coming out are doing the cross-platform thing. Perfect example, the game that we just checked out this past week, Bleeding Edge. I thought was a really fun blast of a game, but people can play across PC and Xbox no problem right at release. So, and I think as they go forward, they're going to do more of that. And I think that's a big thing for them because then it extends their gaming library from PC and Xbox. Hopefully. But I do think the specs, when I read them, I don't know, did you have a side-by-side that you could pull up?
I didn't. I wasn't. Couldn't find it, and then I kind of stopped looking.
But either way, I think that some of the specs overall, the Xbox had the upper hand. It wasn't a huge upper hand.
Yeah, it was just like slightly higher numbers in like every category.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like
there it is. Comparing technical specs. CPU 8x and 2. Same with Xbox. PlayStation is 3.5 gigahertz. Xbox is 3.8.
It's the flops. It's the teraflops.
10.28 teraflops versus 12.
What's a teraflop?
It's
a flop
what is
that's
flop?
terror. It's a flop that's terrifying. A terror flop.
Okay.
It's an acronym. Flops is an acronym. Terror is just the unit.
If I remember correctly, it has to do with how fast it
fast,
renders.
loopy. I don't know.
Yeah,
operations?
how fast it renders and refreshes.
Fast, loopy operations, and
I really don't think loopy is the fucking thing.
That sounds 100% technical.
Fucking loopy operations, pal.
Pal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but yeah, that's all the other gaming big nerd news I had.
Exactly.
Before I get into our big topic, let's look and see what games are coming out in the next couple weeks. Just give everybody a heads up. Are we planning on doing another nerd show next weekend, or are we going to be 2 weeks from today?
We're just going to keep alternating. Alternating weekends.
So not
every other weekend, yeah.
Well, that's what I thought, but we had that space.
Yeah, but I think what we're gonna do is if we ever have to cancel a weekend and stagger it, we'll just go on from that point as normal. So,
upcoming video games. Stop. Why the hell do they have Biomutant on here? I'm now officially agreeing with Soul Creek. Biomutant's dead.
Loading point operations. There we go.
Let's see. Well, here we go. Big games coming out in the next 2 weeks before the next Untitled Nerd Show are. Let's see, today is the 28th.
Oh my God, Chris is here.
He is.
I didn't even see that. Sorry.
He's watching us on Facebook.
Our next show is on the 11th, so the day before the show comes out.
What show are we talking about?
Yeah, the next Untitled Nerd Show.
Oh yeah,
will be on the 11th. The day before the next Untitled Nerd Show comes out, Final Fantasy VII Remake comes out on the 10th. So that's a big one.
We're gonna have quite some talking to do there.
Also, for all you Resident Evil fans, Resident Evil 3 Remake comes out on the 3rd of April, and on the 31st of this month of March, Persona 5 Royal Edition comes out.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely not streaming it, so.
What, Persona 5?
Yeah.
Why? Because you'll get banned?
Because, they'll freaking send out a fucking assassin or some shit.
Yeah, no, they're worse than
they will come to your house.
They're worse than 2K, you know, the 2K sent people to people's houses, so these guys are gonna you're gonna be sleeping and this guy's gonna materialize over your head with a dagger and be like, you stream our game, you die.
Since you brought up Resident Evil though, I don't know. I mean, do we have any Resident Evil fans in here that would like to discuss it? I have a question regarding Resident Evil, but if it's not really relevant, it's not worth talking about.
You really want to poke that bear?
I don't know.
I don't know if we have any big Resident Evil. Tiger, I think, likes some.
Like the movies.
Of course you like the movies. It's about a hot chick who runs around and fights things while swinging her legs above her head. I mean, Jesus Christ, of course you would like it.
Okay, well.
I mean, what did you want to discuss?
It's just about... So, I liked Resident Evil 2, the remake. I think it was well done. But I'm not a fan of the whole stalker system. With Mr. X. And, and then, because in Resident Evil 3, Nemesis is...
Yeah.
The whole base of the game is Nemesis is constantly on your ass, and it's, to me, when I was playing Resident Evil 2, that was the most annoying part of the game. It wasn't, people try to argue that, it's keeping you on your on your toes, and that's the whole point of horror. But like, I wasn't feeling horror. I was feeling annoyed every time I had ran into him. You know?
Yeah, because I agree with you. Those types of systems really don't allow you to fully explore the game and really enjoy the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know, how do you incorporate horror into a game without something like that, without just having a bunch of jump scares?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Like, I think most horror games, if not all horror games, have that kind of it's always out there, it's going to get you.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Alien. What was that? Alien Isolation or whatever it was, where you literally had to hide from the alien the entire time you were trying to explore the area.
Yeah.
It's just,
I guess it's just a type of it's a type of, you know, aspect of gameplay that's for certain people, and I guess it's just not for me. So
although that's a good I mean, I know Silent Hills was canceled, but Silent Hill did a good horror game where you didn't have that stalker aspect.
Yeah.
That, because I remember playing the original Silent Hill on the original PlayStation with my sisters. For the longest time, anytime I heard static on a radio in real life, I was terrified. Like, that game, play that game in the dark while in quarantine, and you probably won't ever leave your house. You'd be terrified to go anywhere. I wish they would remake that game. I would love to play the original Silent Hill on like Xbox or PlayStation. That was a great game. But I get what you're saying. Like, the stalker system can be kind of annoying because it doesn't allow you to. Because some people like to have that playstyle, myself included, who like to take things very slow, meticulously, don't like to be rushed. Hell, you know that. We play DOS together.
Yeah.
We just, both of us are kind of that way, I think. We like to take our time. I mean, hell, we spend how long in an inventory every time we play DOS?
Like half the stream.
Yeah, right? So, I mean, we just like taking that time, and hell, fucking Resident Evil is one of those very inventory-heavy games where you have limited inventory space and limited stuff you could grab and limited everything. So, being in a game like that for people like us, that's just... That adds a sense of too much, less fear and more stress of, okay, but I want to do this, and I can't because I don't have time, and there's things after me. It stops being scary and starts being annoying.
That's what I say, Iron Tiger. Get out of here, stalker.
Yes, stalker. You get out.
Get out of here, stalker.
You get out of here. All right, but that's all the gaming news I can think of. Those are the only 3 big games. I'm still waiting for my big game. Everybody knows what it is. It's Wasteland 3. I still have more than a month to wait. It saddens me greatly.
You told me about that, right? That's we wanted to do that together or something.
Wasteland 3? Yeah. Well, I would like to do... I think Wasteland 3 is going to be multiplayer. I don't know. I think Wasteland 2 wasn't, but I know Wasteland... I'm 90% sure Wasteland 3 is going to be, and look into it more. If it's multiplayer, we should do it together. If not, there will be other games that we can do together that are coming out. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
But we'll figure that out. I've got to do some research. We're supposed to, like we said before, things are put on the back burner. I almost bought it yesterday, or the day before yesterday. The really, really bad unicorn game we were talking about to have Tara play for the Mystery Science Gaming.
Oh, yeah, now that you mention it, I bought the fucking troll game, Troll and I.
Oh my god.
Because it was on sale for $5.
Yes.
So,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. We definitely need to find a day to do that just for fun. That could be something we do on Memorial Day, like we were talking about. So, but yep, that's all the gaming news I have that doesn't pertain directly to what you wanted the big segment of the show to be. So I am handing it over to you, AD, so we can walk us into what we want to talk about.
Yeah, so I think, with what's going on in the world right now and all this quarantine and isolation and people just not being able to see each other and shit, I think it's a good time for us to talk about what video games can do and what it has done for us, as far as interacting and bringing people together even when they're not together. So you know, I don't know about you recently, but I've seen a few extra numbers here and there with my streams as far as
I
viewership.
have.
Yeah.
I have seen. I've also seen people I don't know in my streams. I've had people that I've chatted with offline, people that I know and care about who've opened up to me and said that they have issues, they need somebody to talk to. So yeah, I've noticed a lot of that here of recent, and I think I agree with you. It's because everybody's stuck inside, and video games and or streaming gives us that opportunity to reach out to one another, which is really important.
Yeah.
Especially now. Um, I would say there are, on the day-to-day basis, there's a lot of people who deal with a lot of stuff that they're able to get off their chest with their best friend at their best friend's house, or you know, kids who are in situations where they have parents who are abusive, and now they're stuck at home with them, and they don't have that best friend to talk to. They don't have that individual they can, unload on and let it off of their chest. And I think video gaming has offered that opportunity for people to really reach out, to be able to say, hey, more so than we've ever had in any other form of media and any other point in history, people are have this opportunity to reach out and talk to people. So I just want to say that I think it's important that if you guys are here, if you guys know somebody, reach out to them. Say, hey, let's play some Mario Kart online. Let's do this. Let's let's play some DOS 2. There are tons of games that allow you to be able to do that and still not feel so isolated, still not be stuck in a place where you have nobody to talk to and nobody to get this off of you.
Wait, what does Vegeta have to do with this?
I have no idea.
I I think that an important part of mental health, especially for me, whether you are an extrovert or an introvert, I think a lot of times extroverts, because this was my case, and I think me and AD are a good both sides of the coin example. So I've always been an extrovert. I've always needed people around, And so what that meant I did is that I would never be alone. I had a hard time being alone by myself with my thoughts. So I would constantly be going out and being with people, and I had to learn how to be alone. And I think video games is a way to kind of get yourself okay with being in an isolated space. I think we all need to be able to sit with ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, AD is not an extrovert. AD is much more comfortable alone.
Mm-hmm.
But over the last year and a half or so, or however long it's been, I've seen video games become a gateway to being more social and having more people that he talks to on a regular basis. And that may be, there may be more to that story for him prior to all this. But I just think it's interesting how it can help you both ways. It can be a way for you to go kind of get away for a minute and not have to deal with people. Or it can be a way to connect with people when you're not really sure what to talk about or how to make friends or whatever. I think you can do both. It's a very versatile kind of medium for all types of people, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. I agree. AD?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, for me personally, I think I'm like I'm just so happy that, I was able to find this community, like the Nerd Farm community and all you guys. Because if we were in this quarantine right now, like I would basically have no one. Because the whole point of me starting this channel, was to kind of, like it was to reach out and kind of help out the organization, help out 22 Kill, and get us into a new market. But like at the same time, a big part of this starting this was for me, because I needed this more than anything, and I think I'm kind of the prime example of what I'm trying to do with the channel is, get people, connect people and help people find themselves and, just be comfortable with doing something they love and enjoying something that they love with other people that uh, share the same love.
And that's honestly, that's was my goal when I created the Nerdy Farmer channel and the Nerd Farm, was one, to bring different groups of nerds together. I mean, and it really is amazing to me to see what, and I'm just kind of toot my own horn a little bit, but I want to toot this horn because I wanted to continue to toot and attract more nerds to us. We have nerds from across the world here in the Nerd Farm. We have people from Hong Kong, from Switzerland, from the Netherlands, from Germany, from Portugal, from all over the US. I mean, we literally have nerds from across the world. And these are all people who I've talked with personally a lot of times, who have, who are socially awkward. I am extremely socially awkward. I have a very hard time when I'm around people, not like the people on the screen like you guys, but when I get around people to like do things, I either get very, I don't want to talk to anybody, I'm the guy sitting in the corner, or I'm the guy who's trying to one up everybody. That's been one of my biggest faults in my life. I've always been that guy who tries to one up everyone. And I still do it now to this day, and people hate me.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to fix that about me, but when in creating the Nerd Farm, it's helped me with that aspect of myself. And I know from experience, after talking to people, I know people who, before they came to like my stream or before they came to the Nerd Farm, they would go to streams and they would just not say anything because they were so socially awkward they couldn't talk to people outside, and they even had a hard time talking
Thanks for the follow,
to people
Tiger.
in the stream. And now I know those individuals who have great conversations with us in stream, who are great members of the community in the Nerd Farm, and it being able to be open has allowed them to help themselves to open up to other people.
I like also, just to piggyback on what you said about the global aspect of it, I like getting to talk about some of these hot topics and issues and games and experiences with people from all over the world, because it gives you perspective, right?
Oh, absolutely. I love that.
Yeah, I think, and then you're not, as Green Day said it, an American idiot, right? Then you are actually connecting with humans. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of where we all live. And
I mean, even though Pavan likes to call us over here in the US the third world,
we are.
But it is fun to hear his perspective on things, because he does see it from a different perspective. What he has where he lives is going to be very different from what we have when we live over here, and things are going to be very different for us versus where he lives. And the same for I talk to Skizzle all the time. He's not super active on the Nerd Farm, but he does stream fairly regularly. If you haven't checked out his stream whenever he's on, check him out. I know it's a little bump on him, but he's a great guy. He lives in Hong Kong. So seeing the news of what's happening over there and then getting his perspective on it, it's like night and day. It's so interesting to hear what he says because he works in a college, and then hearing what the news says about things, and it's to me that's so important to be able to get that input from people across the world, and you form these relationships with these people across the world. I have had individuals on my channel who very much care about. I would say something like, man, because I lived in Europe for a while, I'd be like, man, I miss this from Europe. A couple weeks later, I get a package with that same thing in Europe that they sent me. It's amazing that connectivity. It's almost like having a family across the world.
Yep.
And I love it. I feel more closer to some of these people than a lot of the people I've met in face-to-face interactions with.
Yeah, it's so crazy to think about just how big of a reach we're having with through streaming, because I never would have thought that most of my audience right now would be non-American.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just fucking crazy. I just had a new guy from Spain last night, and
it's
really cool.
It's almost, I guess, humbling, I guess the best word I could put it.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm sitting here playing this game and I'm having a good time and I'm talking about it, or we're having this discussion just between the three of us, and somebody in another country, in another time zone across the world is having an input on it too, giving us their perspective. And I personally just want to say thank you for all you guys being a part of the community. I mean, I love it. It's helped me through hard times. I joked about it, but here, a month ago, I had just the worst luck. I would say this bad juju's following me. Like, my house was leaking. We had financial issues. We had all these things happening at once. And I was really down. I was in a bad place. And I had one of my community reach out to me, and I was like, hey, man, I reached out to one of my community, and he was able to talk back to me. I was like, hey, man, I'm having a really, really bad time. And he told me something very personal about what had happened to him. And I'm not going to tell you guys what it was, but it gave me a perspective. It allowed me, and he talked to me, and he allowed me to see that things really weren't as bad as I was looking at them as. That they could always be better. And that's what a community like, and it's not just after the Nerd Farm. There's lots of communities out there. There's the Iron Breakers for Ruicon. There's 22. Do you guys have a Discord channel?
We do. It's not very big.
Well, but you know what? It's there. These communities are there for when people are having a hard time, and a lot of people are having a hard time now. That's my biggest thing. Like, regardless of how you feel about whether or not you think Corona is a big deal, or you think that the economy is a big deal, or whatever, there are a lot of people in either one of those boats who are scared, who are dealing with situations they've had to deal with. Having to be your child's teacher because the school is closed down can be overwhelming. I only have 2 kids. Imagine if somebody has 5 or 6 or 8.
Yeah, that's been
having to teach all those children. Like,
I think
are going to be down.
That this is the first major event. If you think back to, and this is going to be very. These events I'm going to list are going to be very based on the fact that I'm born and raised in America, but you think about some of the stuff that happened in the past that had a very global effect, like 9/11, or when there was really bad earthquakes in places, really bad hurricanes, big things that impacted, a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
All of those, none of those things have really happened during the age of all the connectivity we have now, from social media to include Twitch and Reddit and what's the other one? Anyway, you get the point.
Yeah.
My thing is, it's been interesting to watch the world kind of go through a bad time together, and how we have really started to, we commiserate, we meme about it, we make jokes about it. We are like, as a race, we're like the human race, we are comforting each other in all the ways that we know how, right? So whether you play an online game or, it's like, it's been encouraging, I guess. Like, on the one hand, it's discouraging because you see the panic and you see people not listening and you see people not following protocol or making bad decisions. But on the other hand, there's a majority of us that are kind of leaning in, if you will. And I think people overuse that word, but
we do. In our organization, we use the shit out of that fucking word.
But I think that this type of community has kind of taught us all how to do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely where I do feel like I'm not just a person on an island. No Animal Crossing pun intended.
On an Animal Crossing island.
But I do feel like there's a lot of people that know what I'm going through, that I can talk to regardless of where they are, because we've all been impacted in some way.
Well, and that's to piggyback onto what you said, Tara, a little bit. Like, those events that you mentioned, like hurricanes or 9/11 or bad earthquakes, I mean, those are very regional things. Where, somebody who experienced that can reach out to somebody and they can offer them a shoulder to lean on and cry upon, for, figuratively. Right now, because this is such a world event, you say, hey, I don't know if I'm going to have enough money to put on my table. What do I do? I'm worried about this. This is really stressing me out. And somebody in, Switzerland can say, I feel you. I'm in the same place. This is what I'm doing to, deal with this. I'm counting my my lucky stars or whatever. I'm this is how I'm dealing with it. Here, let's talk, because I know what you're going through. The ability to be a streamer, the ability to have videos, the ability to have this interconnectivity that nerd culture has, is literally allowing all of us to be more resilient. I know it's a term. I was a resiliency teacher in the Army, but it's a term that the Army uses a lot. It's allowed us to become a lot more resilient. It's allowed us to, better hunt the good stuff. And it's allowed us to, if you're at that moment in your life where you feel like you're hitting rock bottom, people are literally a button touch away to talk to.
Well, Leroy just solved this epidemic. We just have to find the raid boss.
Is that what it is?
We gotta.
It's a it's an MMO world event.
All right, everyone here right now, we gotta plan our raid. All right, everyone, take your roles.
All right,
take your characters.
I mean, obviously, somebody's gonna have to hold Leroy down because he's gonna rush in there and aggro everything.
Exactly. But I call the role of being able to say, "God damn it, Leroy!" Just saying. That's
oh man, the fact that that's still alive even today,
right?
That's so much fun. But yeah, guys.
But you're right. I think resilient is the right word. Because resiliency is what, it's like our antibodies, right? It's our immune system for our emotions. And so any way that you can build that, and I think most of that is built through connection, if I'm being honest. And I think that every way we can reinforce that, we should. And we are.
I agree. And I think, like I said, I'm sure AD will agree, because we're going to hand it to him because we're controlling it right now. But I think nerd culture is one of the best cultures in using that tool, probably followed only by maybe religion.
Yeah.
Because I mean, right now, nerd culture, we have such a connectivity with each other. You know, even the trolls, you know, band together and troll together.
Right.
I was gonna say, like, you know, now is as good of a time as any for everyone to, like, you know, really try to connect, you know, and really be together even when you can't be together. And you know, the streaming is a great way to do that, you know. And I'm just really happy that we're able to do this right now. And yeah, because, you know, Iron Tiger said earlier, you know, people might say, like, oh, it's just online, you're not real friends and shit. And, like, I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of friends. I never did. And, like, I really think, Nerdy, that, like, you're one of the best friends I have right now.
Well, I appreciate that.
And, you know, it's always been hard for me in my life to find somebody that I connect with when it comes to, like, you know, being a gamer and stuff, because, like, most of my friends throughout my life haven't really been gamers. So I think one thing I was missing, and one of the reasons I started the channel, was because I needed to get out there into the gaming community and be with people that, you know, are like me.
Before he met you, Nerdy, he had me, and he had to turn me into a gamer. And it's a very slow and grueling process.
It is. You're like noob level 4,
right?
Yeah.
You're not there yet, but you're getting there.
And like the struggle, like, and the struggle with the new gamer is like, you know, you don't know that they're gonna enjoy video games the same way you are. You know, like, obviously, look what Tara's doing now. She's playing Animal Crossing. That's not my style.
Right.
Like, she's her own type of gamer now. I mean, which I love, but, like, you know.
But I think it doesn't, like, it's cool, and it doesn't take away from our friendship, but it creates a space where you do also want those friends that, like, totally get your games, or even the simple stuff as, like, the throwbacks, you know, the games you played growing up, and the old games that you can reference back to, and those shared experiences. Like, we have shared experiences from now, I think, but I think, like, you know, if I met somebody that grew up on Harry Potter the way I did, like, it's different. Yeah, I can introduce AD to them now, but it's not the same.
Oh yeah, it's completely. And I think a perfect example of that is when we were explaining to you what Ori was.
Yes.
AD was like, well, it's a what was the term used? I'm having a brain fart.
Metroidvania.
It's a Metroidvania. AD said that I knew exactly what it was. I'm
right.
Like, yeah, that's what it is. And you're like, what's that?
Exactly.
And while that's not your fault, and we're not going to give you fault for it, but AD and I have that connection in the sense that we grew up with games. We have this type of stuff, but, you know, and that's the challenge of meeting somebody and bringing them into a hobby. It'd be the same concept if I try to bring either one of you into, like, Warhammer 40K. I know everything. I know the history. I know the gaming stuff. I know how to play it. And it would be, we would still be connecting. We'd be friends, but you wouldn't get references. You wouldn't get jokes. You wouldn't get stuff like that. Whereas if I get with a friend like Kat, her and I have been friends for many, many years before she was a friend of mine in the military. We would play 40K all the time. If I post a 40K meme right now, she gets it. 100%. She'll laugh and she'll make another joke about it. But yeah, like that. There's a difference of relationship in that aspect. But I do say I agree with AD. Like, the friends that I have now, AD included, are probably my best friends right now. I don't, to be entirely, you guys are my only friends. I talk to my wife. I talk to my kids. I see my parents every weekend or so. I don't work. I stay at home and I work on the farm. my neighbor, I guess I could consider a friend, but I mean, we don't talk on a daily basis, like once every couple days to a week. And it's not like we're a friendly chat. Like it's hey, we're doing this.
Hi, Chris. Love you.
This, and,
Later.
you know, all that stuff. But yeah, it's definitely really important for me as a person who was, before I started streaming, to have found and built this community, because if I hadn't, I probably would have been in a much darker place in my life right now. And yeah, it's important for me, and I know from conversations I've had with people, which I'm not going to share because they were personal conversations, that it's important to them too. It's been important for them to have that person that, you know, is there every day at the same time, like, you know, almost like a TV show, but it's a TV show they can talk to. You know, it's almost like having a counselor, even though I'm not like trained in counseling. I'm not trying to counsel anybody, but it's that person
peer
they
support.
can see. Yeah, it's something they can see every day. And oh wait, did you guys lose me?
What? No.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure. I had a beep beep and then everything got quiet. Anyway, but I was saying, my thought was it's just important that we all have the ability to reach out.
What's that, Tiger? Is that a link?
I just don't know how else to put it. Like, you guys are like my only friends. Like, that's the reality of it. Is that my entire social life revolves around the nerd farm. Like, it doesn't. My life doesn't feel complete unless I get on Discord and I see what's going on. Maybe make a chat or something. My life doesn't feel complete unless I'm streaming. Like, that's why this whole Corona change for me has been really hard, because I've had to cut my streams in half. I can't stream all day right now. I'm missing a lot of streams, and I know people who I care about in the nerd farm, who I know it's important that they have somebody to talk to every day. I haven't seen for a while, and I worry. I'd reach out. I was, you know, I'm relieved to see some of those people pop in, because I'm like, okay, I know you're okay. Like, you guys know what I mean? Like, it's like that kind of feeling all the time. Because
link in the nerd
you guys,
farm. Okay.
You guys really are like a family.
Well, and I just want to actually thank all of you for letting me be a part, because it's I really do look forward to this, and a lot of stuff has gotten in the way over the last week for sure. But
that's my secret. I'm never okay.
That's like the Hulk.
Yeah.
I'm just grateful that I get to be a part of it, and I think what's indicative of what the kind of community it is how welcoming and encouraging. Nobody, not one person has, not even the trolls, is like, you know, done anything but try to teach me or answer my questions or suggest games or have you tried this? Like, it's a very welcome, come join us, try this, do this, play with this. And I think that's really cool. I think there's a lot of other circles or communities that it probably wouldn't be that way.
And I think a lot of that comes from a similar mindset to mine and other introverts, where it's like,
how you doing,
we want people to come and join us and, you know, see and enjoy the stuff that we love. And being introverts, it's hard to do that. So I think that's why people are so welcoming. So
makes sense.
We're all nerds here, Dandelier. That's why we're all Untitled nerds.
Oh, hello, Dandelier. You're new.
I think Leroy. Welcome, Dandelier, by the way. I think Leroy kind of hit the nail on the head there a little bit too. That they're. It's not to say that everybody in the nerd community you're always going to meet is going to be super supportive. There are toxic individuals out there, just like there's toxic individuals out there in face to face. But I really think that overall, and this is just my personal opinion, I have experienced more toxicity in nerd gaming and stuff like that recently because I've been doing a lot more multiplayer stuff. But even the toxic people, it's almost as if there's somebody who's being a dick, the good people round him like a freaking ring of fire and just want to destroy him.
Yeah.
Like if you're playing a game and there's a guy who's teabagging you, and that's like the lowest level of toxicity that you'll find in a lot of games. But there's a guy who's killing you individually every time and teabagging you every time and being a complete asswipe. Other players will see that and be like, "What the fuck?" And all of a sudden, now that one guy who was just targeting you now has 4 guys just targeting him. And I've seen that time and time again. So like, there are toxicity things, and Leroy's given some great examples of things that have happened.
Yeah.
Things that I've heard from other people. I think overall, though, the gaming community also has some of the most supportive people out there on the planet. More so than any other community I've been a part of in nerd culture, and that's to include like Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, the 40K tabletop culture. There's some good people out there, but a lot of them are very competitive.
Yeah, that's a good
are evil people.
It's a good point because, like, for me, like, the toxicity was actually what initially pushed me away from the online interaction of gaming. So, you know, my first delve into online gaming, like, was Call of Duty. And yeah, the Call of Duty people are, so, and the only reason I stayed with it was because I was still in the Marine Corps and, you know, I was playing with my buddies. Yeah.
Yep.
But once I got out, you know, I'm like, I'm just sick of this community. Like, this isn't fun. It's just, and that, and I was getting sick of the game itself. But, you know, after the Marine Corps, I spent, you know, 5 years or so just being an isolated gamer, just like I was when I was a kid. And, you know, it took up to that point for me to finally start going back into like watching streamers or just being involved in the gaming community to see how good people actually were. And that's what got me to, you know, want to start streaming. 4 years. 4 years, Tiger.
I think Iron Tiger brings up a great point, though. The toxicity does allow people, I think, in many ways, to get that thicker skin. You know, in the sense that a lot of people learn, because, you know, a lot of people go through life, and if they get called a dirty name or they get something said to them that really is offensive to them, they react in a very emotional and, I don't want to say overreactive, but flamboyant way.
Air Force or 5, that's cool.
Thank you for your service, Iron Tiger.
The gaming community allows people, while it offers that super huge connection, it also offers you the ability to say, you know what? You said that thing.
Hey, bunny.
But it doesn't mean anything because you're there and I'm here and I know who I am. Like, it offers you that ability to become more resilient and have thicker skin. Bunny, I'm so glad you're here. So yeah, I think Tiger hit the nail on the head. Like, that's another aspect of the nerd culture that can help people become more resilient. And I think resiliency, like Tara said, is like your emotional antibodies. It allows you to become that well-rounded individual who can really deal with the stressors of life. And right now, there's a lot of them.
And there's some comments I just want to loop or respond kind of to some of the chat about, you know, women playing games and some of the competitive games. And I have seen, although not, I'm sure, as bad as some of the bigger multiplayer games, but through one particular game I played that was online with people from all over the world. And what I have learned is, as long as I like there's an etiquette to people coming into an arena that aren't really good at anything yet. And I think as long as you are learning from experienced gamers that, you know, you don't jump out in the front of something that's going to affect other people's play. You're not going to, you're not going to sign yourself up for something you can't accomplish, especially when you're in a game where there's teamwork involved, and I think that's an important part of learning as well. Like, I would credit my positive experience with having learned good gaming etiquette, if you will, and trying not to do things that I'm not ready for, because nobody wants to be the box jump tutorial guy, right? It's like,
oh no, absolutely.
And I haven't had. I mean, I'm probably not like your super typical female in some ways, but in some ways I really am. But I'm so totally comfortable with the fact that I'm not good at everything. And you know what I mean? Like, I kind of own it. And all that goes back to what you're saying is resilience. Resilience and good manners.
Well, and there's so many things that communities and different games do. One thing that comes to mind is Monster Hunter World. Huge game, lots of people love it. People play it and have a good time. And the community is so good of, hey, if you're playing and they're like, hey, if you're using longsword, make sure you're in this part of the monster, because if you do, you're going to stagger these other people. If you're using the hammer, go to the head because you're doing this. See, like, there's such a community of individuals who are willing to help each other. I mean, you go to YouTube and you type in Monster Hunter builds, and it doesn't matter what you want to play, you're going to find a build for it. And there's such a community of people who want to teach other people to, play this game and be well at it. Another game I could think of that's really good at that is I'm having a brain fart. I just thought of the name. Tarkov, Escape from Tarkov. They literally have people who play the game for no other reason but to teach new players. They call them Sherpas. That's all they do.
Cool.
That they have, and they play the game and they just teach other people. You could be in there, you be brand new to the game and be like, I don't know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And, give it a little time. They have to find you because there's not a whole lot of them, but there's, enough of them out there that one will pick you up. They're like, hey, I'm going to walk you through. I'm going to show you where this stuff is. I'm going to give you the ins and outs of the game. So you're not, completely lost and don't have any idea. I had one teach me. Tiger saying the Sherpas are a thing in most games. And I think that's something unique to the gaming community. If you go play Magic the Gathering down in your local game shop, you might find somebody who will teach you the basic rules of the game, maybe. But most likely you're going to kind of what I call a neckbeard, who's just going to be like, I'm going to teach you, and then bash you over the head, and then tell you after the game, after he's like literally curb stomped you, and tell you, oh, you should have done this, and you should have done that.
They'll teach you while condescending you the whole time.
Exactly. And I can't stand neckbeards. That they are a plague upon local game shops. I can't stand them. But the gaming community has people out there who literally teach in a way that's, effective and not condescending and uprising, because these individuals want you a part of the community. Mm-hmm. There are very few communities out there, I think, that literally have such an accepting aspect of it, where they want to pull more people in versus, a lot of communities out there, they say, oh, this is our thing, you stay over there. Like, perfect example is Dungeons and Dragons or tabletop communities. For a long time, they would shun women from them because they didn't want what women would bring to the community and all that fun stuff. And to be entirely honest, there were some people in the gaming community who tried to do the same thing, but I think that's a time of the past. We want everybody in the gaming community, everybody in the nerd culture. And it's something unique to nerds. Like, I don't know how else to put it other than like, anybody can be a nerd and anybody can be part of the community and anybody can be a part of this family. And there's no other culture on the planet, I think, that is like that. Like you could be the biggest jock of all jocks, and if you play Dungeons and Dragons now with your friends, you're part of that nerd culture and that community. Perfect example, and not a lot of people know, Vin Diesel plays Dungeons and Dragons. There's just so many people out there are part of this community, and it's there as a supportive system for everybody. I just love it. I love being part of the nerd community. I love being part of the gaming community. I love every aspect of it because it like I set it up. I said it a couple times already. It allows everyone to become more resilient in real life. 100%.
For sure.
I know, guys. You guys have been begging me to run D&D online forever.
Man, all this Yu-Gi-Oh talk is really taking me back.
Yeah, I saw him say Yu-Gi-Oh earlier, and I remember my little brother playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
Leroy is a huge Yu-Gi-Oh guy.
I've heard.
Is Yu-Gi-Oh?
Oh, there she is. Okay, I lost her for a second.
Is Yu-Gi-Oh like Dungeons and Dragons, or is it like Pokemon?
It's
or neither.
I think it's closer to Pokemon than it is Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
but it's not. You're not. There's nothing. You're not actually using physical Pokemon.
Sure.
Like everything is the card, and it's just
right.
And like if you're watching the anime, like they play the cards, and then they have like holographic, figures that just show up, but it's not like anything real like Pokemon.
Yeah.
So
it's like Pokemon. There are nuances. Wait, what did I miss about the Yu-Gi-Oh? Oh no, even Bunny Food. Here. But yeah, I mean, and that's like, look at that though. Look at that. You said Yu-Gi-Oh. Leroy's in there talking about Yu-Gi-Oh. Even Bunny came in talking about Yu-Gi-Oh. Tiger's in there saying about Yu-Gi-Oh. You say one thing about nerds, and nerds will flock to you to have a discussion. Yeah. It's amazing. It's like I said, there's no other culture out there like nerd culture, and there's no other culture out there that's a supportive of nerd culture for people who have those times of down, that like those low times in their life. I'm telling you, it's helped me many times. If it hadn't been for nerd culture when I went through my opioid withdrawals, I would have probably not been sitting here today. That's a true statement. So yeah, I mean, there's so much that can be gained from reaching out to one another and what really is the largest family of people who love each other in the world.
Holy shit! You had 10,000 cards. God.
Wow.
I used to have a shit ton of Magic the Gathering cards. I've sold my collection 3 times, and I'm starting it up again because my son wants to play Magic. But
yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh didn't work out for me. I just didn't seem to have the luck with buying those booster packs and getting shitty cards all the time. And
well, here's my thing with Yu-Gi-Oh. It never clicked with me because it never seemed, I don't know, like there was a sense of intensity in it. Like you watch the TV shows and they were like, and I'm playing the Blue Eyes White Dragon, rah! And it was and they're like battling for the fate of the world.
I activate my trap card.
Like I was like, so we're all gonna die if this guy loses this card?
Yeah, man.
Game?
They're playing cards to save the world, to defeat the, I guess it's kind of the same ridiculousness as like pro wrestling or something, right? Like I fucking hate your guts. I'll meet you in the ring.
Right. And the main character like is possessed or schizophrenic or something.
I don't know.
I really was unclear what that was all about either. It was weird. It just never clicked with me either. Like I played it, it was okay, but I wasn't really my thing. Let me tell you about the villain of one of the Yu-Gi-Oh animes. Oh no, here it comes.
I might know this.
Oh my goodness.
He held this. Oh yeah, this guy.
Yeah, the spirit of the ancient Egyptian pharaoh. Well, but what did ancient Egyptian pharaohs have to do with the card game? I still
Everything.
like
There were cards based on ancient Egyptian gods, and they were like the most powerful cards, or at the time they were. I don't
what the
know.
hell? What the hell? What's y'all Egyptian god? The blue eyes white dragon represents?
No, it's not the dragon. It was like Ra and
Maybe I didn't get that far into it.
obelisk, some shit.
I don't know. It's so out there. It's so out there, but there's a lot of people who love it. So,
Oh wow.
Main character uses a card. Another character uses another type of card. There are like 5 of them, and at the end, those 5 characters fuse together, forming a huge evil dragon monster.
Oh my god.
That's true. It was originally an ancient Egyptian game. I was thinking a lot of the cards are like Egyptian based.
Wait. So no. So in the TV show is an ancient Egyptian game, or is it like
No, the TV show. Like that's the backstory of the TV show. Like
benefits of your. I'm completely lost. My awareness needs working on. Trust me, Yu-Gi-Oh is a very special subsection of the nerdy community. Trust me.
Right.
They love their stuff. No more losable than like the 40K community or anything. Whatever.
Okay. Too much Yu-Gi-Oh. I think we're losing Tara.
I'm just lost.
We lost Pavan already, so. But yeah, I guess the main point, of this subsection of the show is be resilient, guys. If you need somebody to talk to,
you know
we nerds are here.
You know what I was thinking though? Maybe Ninja was right.
What?
It's not just a game.
Oh, full circle.
God.
Full circle. Here we came.
It is more than a game.
Maybe to some degree.
It is to some degree more than just about the game, but it's definitely not about what he says it's about.
No.
Yeah, it's more than just a game. And it's more than just winning or losing, I think is the subtitle there.
Mm-hmm. It's more about the connections and the community that you're a part of. I think that's what's important. But yeah.
Stop being
there
angry.
You go, Leroy. Losing. That's a direct quote.
You know what else I'm thinking though? You know, like you know, at actual gaming competitions and shit, when you know the loser shakes hands with the winner. You know,
yeah.
Man, what a bitch.
What? The guy shakes his hand?
What a bitch. How dare you be like a good sport and shake the guy's hand?
He should have thrown his headset at him. Yeah, we've gone full circle now.
There we go. It took 2 episodes, but Ninja was right.
Oh, goodness. He was.
Yes,
he was.
Evil Bunny. I love Harry Potter. That's my first love.
That is Tara's nerdy expertise is Harry Potter.
That is my nerd area of expertise.
There you go. Her nerdy area of expertise.
I read all 7 books once a year.
Seriously?
Why do you need 2 sets of the books and movies?
Well, books have a few different versions. So she could have like a soft cover and a hard cover, or she can have one of the more updated covers that the covers were drawn for adults. The same story on the inside, but like...
Oh, that actually reminds me. Yeah, have you guys heard of like a British TV show called The IT Crowd?
No.
So okay, so it's just about, you know, nerds working in IT. But one of the guys, like, he orders 2 sets of Harry Potter books, and he's like, "Oh, I got the adult version and the child's version just to make sure there were no differences."
I mean,
Ooh, she has a collector's edition.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
No. I mean, that I can't really be upset for people who have collector's editions. I have 40K books from the Black Library that were written by, named authors that I would know, like, but people in the 40K community, not in 40K community, that are numbered in collector's editions that I keep on my shelf that I don't ever let anybody touch. So I can't really be upset with somebody having 2 editions of a single book for Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Series, I guess.
Yeah,
as weird as it
I
may
could
sound.
do a whole freaking show with seasons and episodes on Harry Potter, on characters, on themes, on subplots.
Okay, so do you want to go solo on next week's show and just do your own Harry Potter thing?
Evil, let's talk. Let's talk about what we can do.
So it'd be like Tara's pothead thing. Yeah. Or is that what you guys call yourselves? Potheads or
Potterheads?
Potterheads, okay.
The Tara and Bunny Potterhead Show.
Oh my god.
No, I did not know that.
I feel like that would be like, something that would be on the front of like High Life magazine.
Doing our own judgment.
Good. What?
What?
Is Hogwarts a thing?
Well,
It's real. We just haven't found it yet.
Hogwarts, what people do is they create their own like schools, if you will. It's almost like I don't know how to explain it. It's like an online make-believe.
I was gonna say, so it's like a cosplay, role play. It's a LARPing thing for Harry Potter.
Very good, Iron Tiger. He's obviously read the history of magic. You can't find Hogwarts. Muggles can't find Hogwarts.
How do you know I'm a Muggle? I'm a pagan. Obviously, I have magic. I just have to make a sacrifice of a chicken and 4 young children.
And
I guess this is my turn to be lost.
I would love. Oh my gosh! You know what? Funny. Listen, we have so much to talk about. We need to talk about the.
Tara, you're on the nerd farm, right?
I am.
Okay.
We need to talk about
You and Bunny can go nuts on there now.
the whole side series.
Do I need to make like a sub channel just for the
I mean, we might.
Potterheads.
We'll talk. Because
Potterheads,
like the
okay,
Cursed
Potterheads.
Child is coming, and there's so many things.
I guess you need a Yu-Gi-Oh channel too.
God. Oh my
Shit,
God.
I'll get back into that. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna.
Yu-Gi-Oh?
No.
What?
I'll find some Yu-Gi-Oh video games. I'll do that. I don't think I'm gonna spend money on cards anymore.
Weren't there actual Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah, no,
games?
that seems like
No.
Or just an anime channel? I mean,
Yeah,
I could
it's-
make an anime channel. I won't have anything to input on it because, I watch like maybe one anime every 2 years. I like them, but I just can't find ones that I can really get into. I did find Overlord. That one's fun. But I've only watched 1 season of it.
I have so much that I need to get back into.
What, anime-wise?
Yeah. I haven't watched any new ones in a long
I don't
time.
have time to watch TV shows in general. Let me get into animes. Like I have one TV show. I guess it's an anime. It's animated.
They're continuing Bleach?
Does South Park count as an anime?
No.
Well, it's animated.
Anime is Japanese animation.
That's not true because there's animes that were made in Western people.
anime is a style, a specific style. You can't just.
It's animated characters doing things.
No.
South Park would be anime.
And no.
That means every cartoon
I don't know
ever.
anything about anime, and
That's right. So Family Guy and
Oh my God.
and Simpsons.
now you're just gonna
and-
piss people off, Nerdy. You're just trying to get people
Don't-
to riot in the streets.
Don't be a stupid American.
But I want to be an American idiot. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry. But anyway, that's an honest question though.
Yeah.
So what determines an anime then? I mean, now that we're on the topic and we've kind of gone past our resiliency section of the show, we can end off on a decent discussion. What makes an anime? I mean,
wait, you're talking about anime, and you think we're going to end on a decent discussion because you know what anime ties into.
Hentai?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna avoid anything to do with tentacles.
Sure. We will. We don't know about the chat.
I mean, that's true. What makes something an anime? Why is South Park or Family Guy not an anime?
I don't know. I mean, anime originated from Japanese animation, so
right? But it came from. I mean, it originated there. I get that, but now you have Western things like a Western anime I could think of would be the Hellsing series. That was Western. There's a lot of other Western-made animes. Wasn't the Castlevania one that just released on Netflix? That was made here in the West.
Yeah, I think anime is just like an animated TV series, like because like South Park isn't like, it's more of a sitcom. Each episode is different.
Yeah,
it's not a continued story. Family Guy's not that either.
Well, it depends on the season you watch. Season 21 and season 20 were like an entirely long story interconnected.
The serialized animated medium. Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Let's see. Anime is mainly serialized, but Tiger said South Park is an anime because it doesn't come from Japan. But like I said, I just named off a couple that weren't made in Japan.
Yeah, but I think those had the Hellsing and the Castlevania was definitely there's. I mean, I'm sure you could look in the credits and see some Japanese. I don't mean just because there's a Japanese name in there, but I mean contribution from Japanese like studios or Japanese teams or something like that.
Did you guys hear the back? No. I mean, sure, you look at the credits, Japanese. I mean, it doesn't mean Japanese person.
Yeah, like one freaking. Japanese name makes it an anime.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean,
so
if you don't have a Chong or Miyagi in there somewhere, you're not an anime.
So it's interesting because anime, short for is the Japanese term for animation. However, there are some distinct features of it that even if it's made outside of Japan or from a Japanese company or artist, says that some of the techniques and methods that characterize it are
that was a sarcastic comment, Tiger.
The focus less on the animation of movement and more on the use of camera effects, panning, zooming, angle shots, being hand drawn. With specific art styles, character proportions, features, including characteristically large or realistically sized emotive eyes. So I would say it's an art form, not a genre.
I think it originated as Japanese anime, but now it can be defined as anything that's inspired by that type of animation.
Yeah.
So even if a Western studio were to, make a show with that style of art, then you could call it anime.
Okay.
But originally, anime is Japanese animation.
So they have to have great big eyes, right? Like it has to have like that anime eyes.
Wild hair.
So Powerpuff Girls.
And there's
this one there's this characteristic about it that's hard for me to articulate, but it's like when something happens, there's a moment where the character freezes and the camera zooms in on their face and they're like kind of frozen in this moment, and like either their eyes are twinkling or their mouth is like twitching, or like there's this one weird little motion. I don't know. It's very specific.
What the heck?
Nerdy Dog agrees with me.
Apparently, I'm just saying, like, I said Powerpuff Girls, and a Tiger's saying no, Powerpuff Girls not an anime; it was a cartoon.
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
But aren't animes cartoons?
Yes.
No.
But a cartoon is not an anime. That's
so
like
it's like a rectangle's a square, but a square's not a rectangle.
Precisely.
Oh, okay. So, but all right. So, all right. Samurai Jack, was that an anime?
It could be.
I mean,
I'm not gonna say yes or no, but I'll take an argument.
see, Tiger says no. Okay, why was Samurai Jack not an anime? So I feel like it was very stylized and portrayed in an anime-esque way, especially the last season that closed it out. Did you guys see that, by the way,
No.
when they put out the very final season? That was so good.
So here's the deal. You can serve food in a, cook food in a wok and eat it with chopsticks, and that doesn't make it Asian food.
Well, no, but I understand. But I'm trying to understand. Think of me as with anime as very much a noob. I've experienced it. I enjoy parts of it, but I don't know the different types and the flavors and everything going on.
So I think anime inspired, like Tiger said, is a good term. Even for like the what you said before, the Hellsing series, the Castlevania series, even if they look like anime, them being Western makes them anime inspired, not straight up anime. So anyone who actually calls it anime is wrong, because the correct term should be it's an anime inspired TV series, an anime inspired, Western TV series.
So like Leroy's saying that Avatar: The Last Airbender wouldn't be an anime.
I don't know much about Avatar. Is that a Japanese thing?
I think he's just saying that Avatar is a cartoon.
Yeah.
I don't think that's it.
No, he said if it's not made in Japan, it's not an anime. Avatar: The Last Airbender is a cartoon fighting. Like,
Avatar's not Japanese, then it's not anime.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, it's specifically, basically going back to your original statement, it has to have a Lee, a Chong, or a Miyagi in the name somewhere in the titles, or else it's not an anime.
I think that anime inspired is a good word, because I feel like taking something that is inherently Japanese and then trying to reproduce
I'm being
it.
facetious, everybody. Before somebody takes that out of context, I'm being facetious.
I think it's like appropriation to not give it cultural origins, a nod, but recognize that you are not that.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too deep into cultural appropriation and everything, but because like I really think that if somebody does something like, for example, the Castlevania series, it's obviously a Western main series. Like, tell me why that group of individuals who created it, why it would be wrong for them to call it an anime if it focuses on all the same things and all.
Because anime is Japanese. If they want to, if they don't want to call their shit a cartoon, because yes, I get what cartoon sounds like, then it's an animated TV series. That's what it is.
But my thing is, but that's like saying, okay, I'm a white dude, obviously, from Europe, but if I go and I become a sushi chef, I can't call myself a sushi chef because I'm not Japanese. You see what I'm saying? Like, I
no, because that just means you prepare a certain type of food,
right? But
I think a Western person can be an anime artist.
Yeah,
right.
But if he's an anime style artist that's working for a American, company that produces American TV, he's not. I mean, he's an anime artist, but
But that doesn't mean he's producing animes.
Yeah, the stuff that his studio is putting out isn't anime.
So you're saying, and your standpoint is that in order for it to be an anime, it has to come from a Japanese studio.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree on that. But seeing as
there's not a lot of good
I'm seeing as analogies. I'm going to concede this to you guys. I'm not going to, but I don't know how I like if I like that thought process, because it kind of
Chad agrees with us. We win.
Chad agrees.
Well, I know Chad agrees with you,
Just kidding.
But you see what I'm saying though. It almost feels like it's like saying that, hey, that kid there in, wherever, not Japan, goes and he becomes, an anime artist. He becomes really good, and he starts his own studio, and he makes this stuff that is anime to any other normal layman person, but he can't call it anime because he didn't create a studio in Japan.
Well, what's his target audience? If you're in America and you're creating what you want to believe is an anime, are you in America trying to create TV for Japanese people? Or are you trying to create it to, fit the American audience? Because there's also, it's not just a style of art, it's a style of
it's
storytelling, and it's a different type of comedy or character development. So I don't know.
I don't know. I hope everybody's trying to understand what I'm trying to say. Like I think I've always had this idea that anybody could do anything and become anything. If they want, with stipulations on that. Obviously, we're not going to get into what that can obviously lead to, topic wise. But my point is like I said, that individual who created all that stuff, and he makes it exactly the way it is in Japan, like a hardcore Japanese anime. But you guys are saying that he couldn't call it an anime because he didn't make it in Japan. Like
I just think this is not saying that I think that there is a over commercialization or an over duplication of certain art forms that those art forms deserve to be respected and their origin honored by being careful what you group in that category. I
understand that. Like I get what you're saying. Like, and I was being facetious. I was poking the bear.
No, I know that you were. That. But like, when so for example, I'm trying to think of another example from a completely different culture. But it's like let's take so certain fashions, if you will. So like the Aborigines and their makeup and their face paint and all that.
Mm-hmm.
If let's say you have a group of people in another country and they're like, well, we're going to be Aborigines. You know what I mean? So we're going to wear all this, but they're not. They are duplicating something, and that's fine and good, but they're still not the original. They're not how it was intended to be. It can be Aborigine inspired, but it will never be Aboriginal. You can't, that's exactly it. You can copy it, you can duplicate the style, you can be inspired by it, but you can't be it because it's a very specific thing. You can be all of my analogies suck today, but
you could
be a fat guy that wrestles, but that doesn't make you a sumo wrestler. Like
yeah, but that's I get what you're saying in that part. Like, but sumo wrestling is an entirely different sport, right? I think I'm trying to help you out with that. Here's one. If you buy I know something from comic book culture. This gets people pissed off. Marmaduke. Okay? People want to lump Marmaduke in the same category as comics, like, Aquaman or freaking Superman or Captain America. That's not okay. Marmaduke and all those other, quote unquote comics are not comics. I guess that's the best way I can kind of understand how you guys are saying it. Am I getting that kind of?
I think so. I mean,
yeah.
I just it's a very unique thing. I find because there's not a lot of
What is
media
Marmaduke?
or art.
It's a newspaper comic, Evan. Sorry, I was explaining.
Oh yeah,
It's a funny thing about a big dog.
What is a Marmaduke? That's funny. I just I don't know. I think that I don't know. I'm a very like when it comes to art and media that's consumed. I think you can bastardize something by completely removing it from its origin and its culture and the storytelling style, and you make at some point too many breaks from where it came from and it becomes something different altogether.
I can see that. I just
kind of makes me think of the DMC series and what they did with the shitty reboot, trying to westernize Dante and make him more fit for a Western audience and make the story more fit for a Western audience. And they lost what Dante was and what made him so great. Like original Dante, what makes him so great is that he's cool without having to be what they think Western people think is cool. He doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink, he's not great with the ladies. I mean, he's just cool in his own way.
So because the way you guys were explaining it, it felt like you guys were trying to, how do I put it? But you guys were gating people off. It was like it was, I can't think of the term, but when people are just gating people off, elite gatism or whatever you want to call it. Like you can't be an anime because you're not from Japan. So it's not really gating, I guess, so much. You guys just are saying that you want to preserve what anime is. Is that what you're trying to say?
I think so.
Okay. I mean,
and I don't. I've just been aware of anime. I haven't watched. I don't watch enough to say that I'm an anime expert. I just am aware of the conversation kind of around it, and because I've had a lot of friends that are pretty diehard fans, and that's just been the general consensus of all of them that I've spoken to, is that
Which comment were you talking about, Leroy? The one about language?
But
if it's
what really kind of pointed that out to me, Tara, was when you said or not. It was actually more AD when he was saying like they dumbed it down or they made it more socially acceptable and accessible to the Western audience.
Yeah.
To me, it made it. I made that comparison immediately in my head. Is when they went from Dungeons and Dragons 3rd edition and 3.5 to 4th edition. They dumbed it down. They made it, instead of, helping people learn what the game was, they made it something that it wasn't. And the original community was really pissed off about it, myself included. That's what, basically made Pathfinder. They created Pathfinder because they destroyed what Dungeons and Dragons was when that happened. And they're trying to repair it with 5th edition, but I get what you're saying now. I think a little bit better. Like,
the fuck you thing.
Enjoy it. You want everybody to enjoy it, but you also don't want everybody. You also don't want to change it in such a way that it stops being what it's supposed to be.
Right.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah,
I understand what you're trying to say now. So it was a long journey for me to understand it, and I had to find an analogy that I understood because, like I said, I'm not an anime guy. I enjoy them. Hey, look, I love Dragon Ball Z like the next guy. That's an anime, right? That's an anime, yes?
Leave them wondering. Don't answer.
No. That's not fair. Overlord, I know that's an anime. I enjoy that one. But I will say that I don't understand the culture as much. I am definitely not a weeaboo or weeaba.
Yeah, I'll have to check out the Castlevania thing, but obviously it's English, and I would probably guess that the storytelling style is catered towards the American audience, and I wonder how that would translate if it were, dubbed in Japanese or subtitled in Japanese and shown to the Japanese audience. Would they consider that something of theirs or something like theirs?
Okay. All right. Well, I think I have a better understanding now. I think I've been educated as an anime noob. Maybe I need to go watch another one. I think I'll go watch that Castlevania thing. I haven't watched it yet. Tiger says it's really good. So maybe I'll watch that today. All right, we got anything else to talk about? We've been going for how long? It's 12:40. Oh my goodness.
2 hours. Still doing good. Still on our regular time.
Okay. Oh, that's good. We started a little bit late because somebody was late. Can't imagine who.
I have no idea.
Yeah, the Michael Jackson dancing.
Although Tara was excited, she did get to see the baby geese.
I did.
So wait, do you guys want to see the baby geese as the last thing we talk about?
Yeah, show it to everybody.
There we go. Okay, give me a second. I'll go get a baby goose. I'll go get a baby goose so we can end on a high note.
I like it.
By the way, Dragon Ball is an anime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Nerdy wife is grabbing the baby goose so we can see the baby goose. This is one of two she should be bringing. I don't know which one she'll bring. I'll let you know.
Is it mother or the other one?
No, we did not name the mother or, fucker. That's not how we went with that.
See, this is why I can't have geese, because that's what I would name them.
Here, fucker.
Yeah, but I can't have my children running around coming, here, little fucker, fucker. I can't have my 5-year-old daughter.
Okay,
not saying that.
Soul Creek. No, I haven't, because let me tell you where I'm stuck. Okay, the museum is open. Okay, I've gathered all the materials I need for the store, except 30 of the iron nuggets.
And here we go. The one I'm holding.
I need iron nuggets real bad. Oh my gosh, there's both of them!
Yep, I think the one I'm holding is either Cloud or Shadow. We haven't decided yet. The big one we're calling Storm.
Aww, they're so cute.
Dinner
in some months. Not these ones. Everything we're getting this year, these are going to be breeders for the new dinners that we'll be having later. These are breeders because we got out of sheep on the nerd farm, on the farm part of the nerd farm stuff. No more sheep because the sheep are assholes.
Sheep are assholes. I've had sheep before.
But yep, here are the baby geese.
Oh my gosh. I want to smooch their faces.
You call them Dante and Virgil.
Yeah.
That would be great if I knew the voice.
What?
Because we had to come up with names that were, hey, stop it, dogs. We had to come up with names that are kind of ambiguous for sex because it's hard to tell what they are until they're older. So
I like it.
We'll see. So Storm, it could be a boy or a girl. Shadow or Cloud could be a boy or a girl. Because Cloud is a badass in Final Fantasy, right?
Yeah.
So could be a badass.
Just saying.
There they are. There they are. I have to go back though because they'll get too cold. They get daily baths where they swim around and
they hijack my bathtub.
And Nerdy Wife has a very large, very nice bathtub, and they hijack it once a day to go swimming. And then I have to clean the bathtub because Nerdy Wife's like, I'm not getting in there until you clean it, and you're geese.
That's fair. Nobody wants to bathe in
goose poop. Yeah, I mean it's fair. I mean, but just think about that every time you jump into a lake and you see those geese flying.
Wait, what? Oh,
whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Oh.
I got a little worried.
Okay.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Ducks.
Ducks. She meant ducks.
She meant ducks.
I mean, I don't even know how to react to that one. Oh, goodness.
When you
Well,
got the
I don't have
geostigma,
anything
you
else.
self-isolated. That's true.
Oh, the juice. Oh, that's right. I don't have anything else. You guys have anything else?
I think we're
That's
good.
all I got.
Yeah, I ended on Baby Geese and Evil Bunny
My stream just froze.
having the worst possible mistype of all time, autocorrect of all time.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine. It's okay. Everything's good. It's good. Yeah, nope. But I've got nothing.
I saw Advent Children many times.
I saw Advent Children. I thought it was a really neat movie.
A lot
Is
of
that
people,
an
a
anime?
lot of people hated it.
I don't even know what we're talking
I
about.
don't know. Can you call CG anime? That's a whole nother discussion, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we'll have to have that next time because we'll be here for
Okay.
another hour and a half.
For sure.
All right, AD, it's on you, man.
All right, that is our show. I just want to make sure no one else has any interesting comments about dicks or ducks or whatever.
No, whatever you want to comment about. Fine.
It is an anime because it came from Japan. Sure, we'll take that.
All right.
And
cool.
scene.
Solved.
End scene.
All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. That's the end of our show. This was a fun discussion. And, we got a lot of positive conversations, regarding just considering the state of the world right now. Everybody just, let's stick together,
Stay resilient, everybody.
We're still streaming, me and Nerdy. So, you guys have us at least to hang out with virtually. Keep in touch with, each other, your close ones, even in this time of isolation.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But on that note, we are just gonna smile and wave.
Bye, guys.